Hello, hello, crafty friends. We are going to make some fall florals. We're going to make some sunflowers. We're going to be using, this is just brown paper that I literally peeled off of cardboard because I didn't have any brown paper bags to use. So I peeled some brown paper off of cardboard and cut it out in the shape of some little sunflowers. I folded up my own template and cut it out. And then I also made a little crow, and I've got two of those cut out here. We're going to glue these together. We're going to try to stuff these a little bit. We're not going to get much stuffing in them because they're so tiny. But I have a little terracotta pot here. We're going to make a little fall primitive display. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to paint my pot up. And we're going to paint it white, and then we're going to kind of grunge it. And I'm not going to worry about painting it perfect or anything, because like I say, I want this to be kind of rustic looking, kind of primitive. So I've got that done. And like I say, don't worry about covering up all the terracotta. Now I have some yellows and some oranges and some browns all mixed together over here in a container. And I'm going to use some of that to go over this with a little bit. Again, just kind of messy. Just put it on here. Because then we're going to grunge this up with Waverly wax really good. Give it a good grunging. Just to give it some interest. Okay, so it's already looking pretty grungy and messy. So we'll get a little bit of Waverly wax over here in my container. And I'm just going to go over it. And we're doing this while it's still wet because I don't want it to be perfect coverage or anything. And I'll probably get a baby wipe and blend it a little bit with that. And then there's what you get. So I'm going to dry that up really quick. It's a little darker on this one side, so let me add a little bit back over here. Okay. Now, we're going to dry this. Okay, so I've got my pot all done. Well, forgot the bottom. We can do that later. I'll just try to rub on a little bit of this off my brush. But we are going to paint our sunflowers. I'm going to show you. We're going to use some of this same colored paint to do our sunflowers with. So let me show you. Now I am going to add a little more yellow, of course. But I'm using that orangish type paint. But I'm also going to add some yellow in it. So this is how they're going to be painted. Is like this. Okay, I feel like it's dark in here. Get some paint over here. So I want them a little brownish, a little yellow, a little orange. They do not have to be perfect. You don't have to do them bright because these are kind of primitive ones. So I'm not doing them real bright yellow. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow on them, but I don't have a whole lot of yellow paint other than my pale yellow. I'm out of bright paint, or bright yellow paint, so we're using what we have. So again, just some browns, oranges, whatever you have on hand to paint your flowers with. Once you get them painted up, we're going to take a little Waverly wax and we are going to give them some detail. And then our centers are also going to be done with Waverly wax. So here's what they're going to look like that. They're going to look like this. I'm going to do the centers a little bit lighter and around the edges. So let me dry this and I will show you. Okay. Now we are going to hot glue this in the center. So there is our first sunflower. That's what it's going to be looking like. So there he is. He's all ready. We'll have to dry him up just a little bit. I'm just going to glue a little bit of raffia down in there. You can use moss, foam, styrofoam, whatever you have. But I'm going to use just a little bit of raffia to put my sticks down in, and it'll kind of look nice sticking up out anyway, kind of like a moss would. So I'm just going to cut some of this, glue it right down in there. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my stems so that they will stay put when I put them in here, okay? And that will work. And especially once you get everything arranged. Uh-oh, I forgot to paint the back of this one. Well, that's okay. We'll do it later. Now that I got my flowers all glued in there, look how cute those are. We are going to start adding some other elements. And I have just some pieces off of the swag that I tore apart, the little grapevine swag. So we're going to kind of put some of those down in here. They've got some little curly cues and things on them, just natural from the swag that I tore up. Let me put that really tall one in the back. And so I'm just going to put a few of these in here, different places. And then we're going to add some berries. Things like that. So we're just starting to add some little elements like that. I have like these long green grassy pieces. We're going to glue some of those down in. Let me kind of look at what I'm doing here. So I got to kind of straighten all this up here in a minute and get it to looking halfway decent. So we're going to push those down in there. I just want some different, all different types of elements in here. So it's okay to add some green because they're still green in the fall. Everything's not dead yet. That happens in the winter time. So we are still adding some elements of, I'm going to add berries down in there, and I have these, not sure what these are supposed to be, some kind of little berries, like little fall berries. We're going to put those in there. And I'm just adding glue on everything as I go, and that way all of that glue will build up and it'll really, really hold everything nice and tight once you get it all in there. So I have some little tiny orange florals that we're going to put in there. And I thought I had some other one of those red colored berries here somewhere. I got to find them. Those really rustic looking ones. And we'll add our crow here in just a second. I don't want to forget him. Add that. I'm going to add some more green leaves, and I've got some burgundy colored leaves we're going to be adding. And we will straighten everything once we get it all in here. We'll make sure everything is looking good. But it can be messy. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect and neat, because that's the whole purpose of making it like rustic and giving it that natural look, just that fall kind of look where everything is starting to lose color and starting to die off, but still a good bit of color. But see how it's looking? You're just adding different things in there, and it would have probably been better if I had put these flowers on stems that I could bend, because then you can really, really manipulate your bouquet or your arrangement if you have things on bendable stems. And that's why a lot of times I use stems from faux florals that I have used the florals off of, but I haven't used the stems. I save those stems and use those all the time in my handmade florals because they work incredible. They're perfect for what you need. And you can, or they have wire in them, you can bend and manipulate them and get what you want and all the things. So I am just adding a few leaves in here. To kind of finish this up. Get that down in there where I want it. Turn this one out a little bit. Now we've got to find a place to put our little crow. Let me see, I get my sunflower. See how pretty that's looking? And I just stuffed everything in here. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Nothing is, you know. I'm going to cut that one thing of berries down a little shorter. We'll put it down in there a little bit shorter. It's not sticking out quite so much. Okay, so there's what it's looking like. And you just continue to add, like I say, put some berries in the back. Whatever you want to add to yours. Make sure that you just fill it in all the way around. Get all the interest that you want. And then we're going to find a place to put our little crow here. I don't know if he's going to go on a flower. Maybe we'll have him sit on the center one. Or we could put him down in here. I'm not sure where he's going to go. Let's see. We need to make him perch somewhere. Maybe I'll put him right here on these berries. And then we will kind of lean him or glue him back against the flowers so he can stand up in there. Hold on just a second. I'll show you what I'm doing. Get all these glue strands out of everything. Whoops. And I needed to stain my stems. That's one thing I forgot to do too, is you want to stain your, stain the stems of your flowers with some Waverly wax to kind of darken them and make them look more natural, and they'll blend in a little bit better. So there he is. We've got him perched in there. We've got the flowers all done. Now I was thinking about tying some homespun fabric, or I've got this fabric with the oranges and stuff in it, tying something on my pot here, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to use. I was thinking about this color because it has like all of the colors in it, or most of the colors in it. Now it's not double-sided is the only downfall to that, but it would still work. But you can use ribbon, you can use whatever you want to, and I'm going to put it on here, and then I'm going to add, I think, just like a rusty star on the pot once I get this tied on here the way that I want it to be. You have on hand whatever you like for yours. There's that. And then let me grab a little rusty star, and we're going to add a rusty star to it. All right, I found something a little bit smaller that'll work even better. It's a little button, a little wooden button that kind of looks like a rusty star. So we're going to use that instead. Put that right there on our little bow that we added. Not a bow, but a little tie, little knot, whatever we added there. And I think that finishes it off just perfect. So you guys, let me know what you think about this project. I absolutely love it. I think it's adorable with the little crow and with all the florals and everything. I really love how this turned out. So you guys let me know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.